So this is just a thought that entered into my head, because I mentioned before how in a lot of Eastern media, the characters' names oftentimes tell you who they are. So I was thinking for Tora, why was he called Tora? And I'd probably first and foremost have to understand Japanese to get that far. But a thought came into my mind that he could potentially be like a representation of how humanity was. Yeah, you know what, as I said that kind of sounded a bit ridiculous, but, you know, how humanity was back in the days of Torah, or when the Torah was the holy book before Jesus came about. Like I said, the moment I said it out loud, it's like, I don't think so, but it is interesting because despite being smart and genius-like, he is obvious. It's obvious to tell where his mind is at, you know, from the maid costumes and things of that nature, and it's not in a particularly healthy place. But, you know, just food for thought. Maybe, because whatchamacallit, how I do a lot of my thinking for this game and trying to figure out what character's representation of what normally happens in post, but
it has many amazing places in it.
Perhaps rest and enjoy view for a bit.
But it you know, it's difficult to think of it in the moment of gameplay because I'm kind of focused on the game itself. So well, some things in the moment just don't hit. Like I personally wish they would, but that's the best part of doing a multi-part series. Also, is this fox just not supposed to be interactable? Or is it for a later side quest, I wonder?
Looks pretty high. Give me a moment. Pirate, you first. I'll pull you up, so hold tight. So heavy.
What did you say?
Yow!
Now, look here, Rex. You can't just go and call a lady heavy.
Oh, Rex, a little tactless.
Sorry about that. I guess I was just surprised.
No, it's not your fault.
Ooh, she heavier than Tora for sure. But that just means Pyra grown to impressive height. It is good thing. Pyra should be proud.
Poppy, pull Pyra up. Please, grab again.
Nice, Poppy.
Poppy, artificial blade. This is no problem. Poppy could lift Gonzalez if necessary.
Why didn't Poppy just fly Pyra up? I guess it might have been a strain on her thrusters. But, well, in any case... Oh, okay. So, at this point, in terms of recording, I finally got the chance to edit the first part of this whole series. And... man, the amount of hours it took just to get the audio, the call out for Rex in the group, or just Rex actually, was a massive undertaking. It's one of those things that definitely make me grateful for the sound design and everything that goes into the audio now that it's all said and done, you know? Oh, okay. Interesting. So that's something I didn't really take note of until now, is that when the blade and driver are in sync, the moves actually get... the attack moves get faster. The auto attack, I should say. Okay, I'll definitely have to take note of that for future reference. Because I believe it was... I believe one of the tutorials said that if I like cancel on the last attack, then it will do increased damage. So if I get them to be on the same kind of link, then that will just make it all the more plausible to whatchamacallit. I can do more damage, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I got I got stunned by the Ardanian soldier with the worst peripheral vision ever. And it seems that enemies have different defensive values too, which is very interesting. Dude, why aren't these guys locking onto me? Like, I'm the same level as them, too.
For an alpha prototype, you sure pack a punch, Poppy.
Poppy actually feature complete, but MasterCon want to keep tweaking UI.
From the other side. Speaking of that, anything I can upgrade? Yes, actually. Increases agility. I'm probably not going to need that. Oh, that's 750. Never mind. Reviving an enemy gives them 15%. That's for another time. Boost HP effects. Yeah, that's probably good. Sure.
Piece of cake. Time for a break.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I... no, I didn't do anything with Tora. What is this? Okay, so this increased damage dealt to launch enemies. Increases damage dealt by 100 when HP is 30% or less. Sure. Increases aggro drawn from driver from 50%, and none of these get a significant text boost. They just get damage multipliers. Yeah, this. And what's the thing I'm looking for here? Sorry, it's been a little bit. So it might... Oh, accessories, there we go. It might take me a bit of figuring out to, get where I'm trying to go. So... I mean, I don't do I want Tor dodging? Yeah, actually, but again, I'll do it anyways. What I was going to say is that at this point in the game, a dodge rate like that isn't the most useful thing in the world, but at the same time, I'll take what I can get because, you know, every little bit helps. Oh, that's a 2-hour buff. Okay. Should I also do this for Tora? I guess so. There's nothing inherently wrong about this. But we can do it with the less expensive one.
Meh! Morning already?
Power! It is new
Calm your
day.
mind.
So there are too many enemies. Boo! Alright. But thou must.
Master Pawn, Poppy can feel there is a blade in the vicinity.
Oh, but how can Poppy tell that?
Unclear. Poppy feel other blade like wave in air.
Huh. I'm not sure I get it, but maybe Dromark is nearby.
Let's try opening up some of these doors. I didn't hurt anyone, did I?
Everyone check your eyebrows.
I'm sorry. It's hard to judge the power sometimes.
Pyra, Rex, Dromark, it's good to see you alive.
It very good!
See, Master Pawn? There was a blade here.
Master Titan, and forgive me, but who are they?
Dromark, we don't have much time. Do you know where Nia is?
But of course, we are in residence after all. I feel her presence.
Then let's go. We can't let her get executed.
Indeed. This way.
I feel that this cutscene in particular, considering the fact that how, you know, we can't let her get executed, followed by, you know, or not even followed by, but prior to the scene was quirky anime nonsense, is a very interesting choice. I've talked about it beforehand in the last video that I like the how did I word it? Anyways, I'm not going to word it perfectly, but I'm just going to say what I'm going to say is that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is caught in between two distinctive tones of voice, I guess I want to say. A very humoristic take of what the situation should be, and at the same time a very serious one. And, well, I kind of feel that they are a bit at odds with one another. Well, not even kind of. I think that they are a bit at odds with one another, because if you told me that this chapter, Chapter 2, is attached to the same game as Chapter 1, I probably wouldn't have believed you, considering how much more serious Chapter 1 turned out to be. But I think it is a lot more easier to...
Comes before a fall.
I think it's a lot easier to digest now that I am this far removed for it, and I can, to an extent, expect something like this, you know? Is there any particular way that I can get up there? There's probably like some kind of hidden button or something that I gotta hit, but for the time being, let's just do this. Oh, yeah, that works.
I lost the upper hand.
No,
We have.
Poppy.
Ha! Let's keep this up. My thoughts exactly. Ha! I missed.
So, considering the fact that I'm using Arai right now, and I have the unfortunate benefit of being, you know, pit up against Ardanian soldiers who really can't take much of a punch, I think that, how do you say, my original impressions of the blade system were not good by any stretch of the imagination, due to the fact that I had a bad case of gacha. And what I mean by that is how gacha systems work and how they basically exist to take advantage of people who look to gain the rarest item, the rarest whatever it is that they have behind a locked screen, right? So in that regard, a character like Arai, or not even a character, a game mechanic like Arai was oftentimes ignored by me because, well, he just wasn't rare and shiny. But I'm hoping that by giving a little bit more attention to the rare blade, non-rare blades, that my playthrough would be a lot more easier because, well, quite frankly, if I only focus on the legendary or hyper rare, whatever they're called, the game is that much harder. And I genuinely mean that because I'd be doing a lot more grinding in order to just, what's the word I'm looking for? I'd have to do a lot more grinding in order to get from point A to point B in terms of field skills. And oh! Yeah, oh, I didn't think it would kill Rex instantly. You don't worry about it. I was experimenting for science. I thought I could just damage boost my way through, honestly. But like I was saying, it's just very unfortunate that these Ardanian soldiers can't take much. Like, the second I do specials, they're done. And that could also be a thing of Arai's damage output. Matter of factly, now that I think about it, what if I just removed the knuckles? What if? How do I do that? But I don't think I can do that. Why can't I do that? Alright, well, whatever. Oh, so this is actually what I was meant to be talking about this time, last time around, when I said that there are parts about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that are just better than 3. This list right here of chronological, alphabetical, by rarity, and by weapon rank thing right here is so good, and I really wish would have been an aspect that carried over into 3. But unfortunately, it's just not there, and because it's not there, it ends up being a very irritating thing when you're trying to search for specific items so you can get an optimal build out. Honestly, most of the times, I think most people just settle for the auto upgrade option in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I don't blame anyone, but it's very much so not good. At least if you're looking for some kind of optimability. It just gives you a bunch of good enough abilities and hopes that you never actually scrutinize.
Calm your mind.
Because it's quite questionable, some of the things that auto ability gives you to work with. Man, I have found all kinds of amazing ways to fail in the early games of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's not even that hard, honestly. Like, the intros to RPGs are supposed to be the easiest, and here I am just screwing everything up. But it is what it is. You know? Honestly, without making all these mistakes, if it weren't for these what is happening? Where is your line of sight, my guy? If it weren't for all these mistakes, I'd actually be less interested in this game because I'm not gonna lie, there is a bit of hampering going on from my focus from what it would normally be like when I'm playing video games, because obviously I have to commentate, but
Rex is in it.
you know, it is teaching me that I have to genuinely respect what is going on in the game. And I appreciate that a lot. It's locked.
Okay, time to take you down.
Well, the good news is that I'm going to be able to activate Bullet Punch, at least in this fight.
I guess I really am. I like your attitude. Go for it.
Don't kill me just yet. Okay.
Why not?
So, but I should be relatively close to leveling up now.
Let's show him a thing or three. Don't mistake your target.
I wonder. Okay, so like one big question I have right now concerning rare blades is how long their recharges take in comparison to you know, the ultra rare stuff. And the basic thing is the ultra rare blades, do they just have a better recharge rate? And that's like why you would use them over common blades. That common blades is what I wanted to say, but I couldn't think of the word.
Let's show him a thing or three.
Also, considering the fact how close the levels are right now to the Ardanian soldiers is, well, the biggest reason of why I didn't want to use the rest when I used it in the last recording session, because, well, it's just very easy to use something like that to shred the difficulty in two. I mentioned this about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I don't want an easy time with the game. I want to respect it as much as possible and learn as much as possible. That way I can get the most out of it. Maybe this is an odd statement to some, but I find a lot of value in just kind of struggling with a game, of coming to that brick wall and trying to find an answer to tear it down. I don't know if this is like a very like uncommon thing in the gaming scene. I think it is, because when you consider how many people like being overpowered in video games, which I don't necessarily blame them, because like that's kind of the point of a lot of video games, is in general just to feel overpowered. But if a game is too easy, then you might as well be playing you know, that Staples easy button game, which isn't even a game, it's just an easy button. But in general, that would just be unsatisfactory, which, you know, I feel speaks for itself. Okay, that looks straight odd. How the how the knuckles just stayed there, hovered in midair. Okay, and rank 3 is unlocked.
My skills have enhanced.
And this is use Executioner 5 times. When landing a hit, restores 40% of the party's health as a whole. And, okay. Well, I'll just have to come across the correct thing. Wait a minute. Oh boy. Okay, I hope this doesn't function like I think it does, because I don't have the proper thing to use Executioner, and yet if this works as I think it does, which is I can only get this once I get that, then we're at a bit of an impasse. But Executioner is his level 3? Oh boy. That's gonna be a minute. Where's Pyra at? Okay. Defeat Ferris. Yeah, I can do that later. Use Prominent Revolt. Sure. Help an incapacitated ally. Sure. And that's it. Okay, and then the rest is just fight. Quick question. Okay, Providence Revolt is level 2. Alright, that should be easy. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, we can get Executioner in this fight. So I guess at this point, another thing to test out would be how good the like how quickly we can get to the driver and blade being in sync. Oh boy. Okay, we're in sync now. Good. Where the heck did this guy come from? Please stay alive. No!
We can do this all day.
No problem at all.
Okay, bring it on.
Bro, why is this guy just chilling in his bed? What? Alright, whatever. I guess, considering the fact that I don't have much to talk about right now, considering that all we're doing is just dungeon crawling at this point, I kind of want to talk about just the concept of gaming with God. This has been something that has been on my mind for a minute, and while, you know, don't necessarily have all the concrete answers I would like to have at this point to fulfill that question, I'd like to just think that, at least for the moment, it would be keeping God on your mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's said that a mind that's centered on the Lord is peace and love. No, it is a mind that's centered on the Lord. Hold on, let me pull this out because I don't want to get it wrong. So this might be a chance for me to hard cut somewhere. A mind that has stayed on thee, or oh wait, no, oops, one moment. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. So, I don't know, it's just been on my mind recently that, when I say recently, I mean like for months now, to, you know, just keep your mind on God whenever you do anything really, because He'll give you perfect peace in that thing that you're doing. And I do think that, well, because I'm the, how do I word this? It's very easy, I will say, to just have your mind be distracted with everything else. But with that in mind, that is the point of that verse, which is to just keep your mind on God. Don't let anything else take up the spot of God that is in your head. And, you know, I'm not perfect in that regard, because a lot of the times, a lot of the topics that I bring on this whole playthrough are mostly things that I have kept my mind on, which is to say that it wasn't exactly God in those moments that I did have, but that I did have my mind on, but at the same time, it is to acknowledge that, and acknowledge that I can do better in the future. That way I don't end up in a situation where, you know, I'm hustling, I'm trying to do everything by myself, because one of the awesome things about God is the peace that He gives you, you know?
No doubt about it. That's the place.
Who are you people? They're the terrorist friends.
We are her friends, but I won't let you call her a terrorist.
And because of that piece, it allows me to just do a lot of things that I normally couldn't. I mentioned at the beginning of the last session that one of the things I did was get in my head due to the fact that, well, this is so off by my standards, or by what I think God's standards would be. Like, if you asked me, you know, if I was going to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I would say probably. Because I was thinking about playing this game again in a sense to find out, you know, like what other people saw in it. But if you asked me to do something like this to, you know, just help people who are kind of this way and that way in their faith, who may not even be believers in the first place, I definitely wouldn't. This would not have been my first guess. Shoot, this wouldn't even be my last guess. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, God is way cooler than we give him credit for. But because we have allowed a type of fear, I guess, and it's not a healthy fear or like respect as it's supposed to be. It's fear for the sake of fear of a boogeyman that doesn't exist. You know, we end up putting him away from the stuff where he can help us out in. And, you know, all I'm trying to say is that we should include God in more stuff that we do.
Jane?
You alright, Nia?
Rex, you...
My lady, apologies for my late arrival.
Don't mention it. I didn't think anyone was coming at all.
As if we'd leave you. Always help those who help you. That's the second rule of the Salvage's Code.
Well, that's you all over, ain't it?
Rex! Tora has found escape route! Hurry! Hurry!
And not Pon.
He has been of some assistance.
We made a new friend.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I think we've overstayed our welcome here. Time to get moving.
But with that being said, since we're at the end of it all, I just want to offer whoever isn't saved a chance to get saved. So as it says in Romans 9, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, then thou shalt be saved. Or, in layman's terms, if you believe that Jesus is Lord and that God had raised him from the dead on the third day, then you will be saved. It's as simple as that. What salvation is, well, knowing God. It's not just a matter of going to heaven, but knowing the character of God. About knowing who he is, knowing that he is good, and knowing that he is for you and has a plan for you, you know, a good plan for your life. I think a lot of people, you know, when they hear about salvation, they just think about going to heaven. But it's actually a lot more than that, and a bit more complicated too. Well, more simple and more complicated at the same time. But, you know, it's not just about getting a free ride out of hell. It's about knowing God. And I think a lot of people miss that in just, you know, trying to, well, get out of hell. Because, you know, the thing about it is that every man has sinned and come short of the cross. So if at any point you were questioning why salvation is a thing, why is it for you, then hey, that's the reason why. Because we're not as holy as God. We're not to the point where we all should be. And I think we can all agree that nobody on earth is perfect. And that's the part of why we need salvation in the first place. In any case, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Until then.